I have read over 25 books in 2024. We are now in 2025. I can't believe it. It's just been pretty amazing. And 2024 for reading for me hasn't been, it was okay. I will just say I've read a couple series. I finished up a series and read a couple more, and that will be on my other videos. But let's get into some of the books I have finished for 2024 wrap up. Let's do this. The Girl on the Train by Paula A. Hawkins. I did read this book. It was not that great. I don't know if anyone else has read this book or anything, but it's an old one. And it really is just about a girl who is an alcoholic, and she thinks she witnesses a murder while riding on the train to and from work. She's lost her job. She's been kind of like moving into this couple's business and their lives, and she kind of makes her way into it, trying to figure out what's really going on by befriending the husband. She loses her job. She lives with a roommate, and she just starts really obsessing over what she thinks she saw. The cops don't really buy what happened with her because of her problems. This was slow. It was okay. There was a twist in the end, but I honestly don't recommend reading this. There are a lot of other books out there, so if you're into a slow mystery with someone who likes to put their nose in other people's business, thinking what they saw, then go for it. It just really wasn't my cup of tea. We have Lucy Fuller, The Guest List. This book was not so great either. This is on an island with a wedding, and this was a wedding gone wrong. If anything could go wrong on a wedding, this was your book. And there was a storm, a twist of people that you think you know and you really don't know, and it just was a hot mess. It's a scary, stormy, people coming out on boats to this big, fancy wedding, and this is the hostess' first wedding to set up, the wedding planner's first wedding on this island, and the chef and the wedding planner are husband and wife, so this is their own little business that they have, and with the island, and there's a lot of things that go wrong. So Lucy Foley, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. So, if you do like reading about wedding disasters, then go for it. Again, was not my cup of tea. I do have some other books by her that I plan on reading this year, 2025. The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa M. Matlin. This book was scary. This book was super scary. All I can say is if you're looking to buy a house for future reference, you might want to do some research. This is a woman. Her name is Sarah, and she is a therapist, a psychologist, and she wants to buy this house, put it on social media, and she just was really fascinated and had to have this house and kind of grow her social media platform with her husband and her. And this house is alive. It's scary. There's bumps in the night. So if you get scared easily, don't read this alone at night. And things start happening. There is something that tragedy happens in this house, and when she buys it, things start happening to her relationship with her husband. Her husband ends up not staying there and kind of leaves, comes and goes because of how he feels about the house. She has a cat, and the cat's kind of eerie as well. She starts hearing things in the attic, and she has her own past and her own little spider webs of things that she has to deal with this. So it is I gave this 3 stars. I do recommend reading this book. It was really scary. There are some twists and turns and some strange things happening. So if you like a little bit of a scary book and it's not gory, it's kind of light to me, but it's really up to you. All right, moving on. Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. Another island book. It definitely was an island year for me. A lot of different island books for some reason. I've just had this on my shelf for a while too, and this was popular, I think, until 2023. I'm not sure. And I really wanted to like this book, you guys, like everyone. I really did. I was hoping this was going to be a thriller kind of island, like something happens on an island, and that just did not happen. This is about a couple who wants to go adventure. The boyfriend wants to go adventure on their boat and just discover things in the ocean. And they discover this island all to themselves. And they both were really kind of happy for a minute. But then another couple shows up. So I would say this is more of a soap opera book with a couple issues. So think of soap opera Days of Our Lives. Kind of drama going on. Not a lot goes on except for just relationship drama on an island with some couples. Something does happen almost at the very end. So if you want an island with drama and people and relationships, then this book is for you. I did not care for it. I gave it, I believe, 2 stars. Just was hoping for more of like a murder kind of scary island kind of book, and it was not that for me. I did read Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I hope I said that right. The Night Circus. This was amazing. I gave this book 4 stars. I highly recommend reading this if you have not. If you were a kid growing up watching the circus live, and then this book is so for you. I have not read anything like it. It is a circus with magic, real magic, and 2 people are growing up being trained for a magic match with a circus attached to it, and they're 2 magicians and they've never met each other, and they end up meeting and they're supposed to duel it out and basically hurt each other till death, right? And they meet friends along the way, they meet each other, and I'll just say it's very magical. There is a love story, so I don't want to do any spoilers in this book. They meet, I think they're twins, kids. So if you're really into the circus and kind of want a magical circus book, read it, then this book is for you. It really brought me back to like my kid days of going to the circus, and just the imagination of like re-smelling the popcorn in the circus with the tightrope walkers and just all of that. So I highly recommend this book. Definitely, I did give this 4 stars. So if you're really into that, yes, please pick this up. And if you have read this, comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. This book was just really magical. I really, really did enjoy reading this book. I will be putting this on my shelf and keeping it. All right, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I picked this book up because the movie was on Netflix, and I really wanted to read it before watching the movie. And let's just say I really, really enjoyed Pip, the main character. She is trying to uncover a murder, and she does not believe who murdered a classmate. She does not believe that is who murdered. So she tries to uncover the truth behind a school project, and she meets up with someone, the brother of the family's murder, like who they thought killed the classmate. She meets up with the brother of that family, and she knocks on her his door and asks if it's okay if she does this project. And at first they don't hit it off about it, but slowly it starts kind of unfolding. And I actually really fell in love with Pip. Again, I'm sure I said that already, but this was just a really cute book. It reminded me of the Nancy Drew books that I read when I was a little girl. And this just kind of took me back to that type of storyline. And the movie was really cute. I really did enjoy watching it after this. I will be reading the second one in 2025. So I highly recommend this if you haven't read it. I just feel like I'm kind of falling behind on some of these books. I can't keep up, but I really did enjoy this. So highly recommend this if you have not read this yet. This book has been on my shelf for a very long time. Very long time. My Best Friends Forever by Jennifer Weiner. I don't know. Again, I thought this book was going to be really good, like a best friends kind of novel of two people staying friends after high school, and they kind of like come together and help each other out with maybe something happens with one of them. And it just fell flat. It was really slow. I was really disappointed. It kept on going back and forth to one perspective about like high school and what she had to go through personally with her own personal issues. And it just wasn't my cup of tea. I don't know if anyone else has read this. It's an older book, but I just really don't recommend it. So just, her name is Addie, and she has been trying to date. And then all of a sudden, her old high school best friend, Valerie, shows up at her door with a bloody coat. So she is trying to unravel what happened, what did she do, and that's that. But it kind of fell flat because it kept on going back in the past of their high school times and things that they went through. I don't know, just didn't really care for it. I was hoping for more depth of their relationship as best friends. I read Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire in 2023, so I wanted to pick up Walking Disaster by Jamie McGuire, and I wanted to pick this up because I really fell in love with the couple in this storyline. So Travis and Abby, this is in Travis's perspective. When I read the first book, and it's in Abby's viewpoint, they both meet. They're going to college, and they meet through friends. They have best friends that are together, and she at first does not like him, and he does not like her, but they end up having a lot of banter, and she starts being curious about him, knowing he's bad news, but still kind of grows with Travis. So, Beautiful Disaster is with Abby's perspective. Walking Disaster is in Travis's, and there's a lot of things that go on. So I kind of wanted to see what Travis was thinking about with everything that happened, the way Abby viewed it. So I usually don't read these books because I feel like I'm just reading the same thing over and over. But this one was really cute, and I really did enjoy it. And I did watch the movie on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix or Amazon. I don't remember. So I read these books before I watched the movie, and I really, really liked the movie, and I highly recommend these books. I also read the novella, Jamie McGuire, of A Beautiful Wedding. I read this book, and I really did enjoy this book as well. It's very short. It's not that long. It's just talking about them getting married. And I did not watch this movie because I know it's out there. It just looked cheesy, and it wasn't really what this kind of was about. So this was another little small book. Like I said, I read after both of them because I just had to kind of know what their wedding was like. And yeah, I recommend if you're looking for a cute banter love story back and forth with some drama between the couple and the friends, then recommend this. He's also a fighter. Travis is a fighter in boxing, so that's kind of where they end up meeting. And yeah, I gave this 4 stars, the whole series. So I am a big fan of Keanu Reeves. I enjoyed watching Speed. That was my first I think one of my first real movies, except for Bill and Ted Excellent Adventures. Great movie. Speed with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. Awesome. So I had to pick up his book, Keanu Reeves, The Book of Elsewhere. And I didn't do too much research the moment I bought it because I just, like I said, big fan of Keanu Reeves. This book was not my cup of tea. Not my jam. I wish I did more research, but I did read it. I almost DNF'd it. It wasn't my thing, but I was curious because it's about B, who cannot die. He cannot die. He tries a lot different ways, and every time someone he knows passes or dies, but he cannot. And it's like based off of this kind of scientific world. There's, I believe, comics connected to this. And he is trying to figure out why he can't die. And people around him in the military and science labs and all that stuff, they're doing testing on him, trying to find out why, what's going on, who created him, all of these things. And then it does talk about other worlds. So it kind of gets really interesting. I'm glad I finished it, I will say, because in the end, a lot of what I read kind of put a lot of pieces together. So it was a challenge to read for me for sure. And I'm just glad I picked it up because even though it was very slow and not my thing, at the same time, I'm trying to challenge my genres of reading different things. So if you're into like the sci-fi, different worlds, military, science, lab things with people and testing people, then this book is for you. There is action in here. There's a lot of action for sure. I just think if this was turned into a movie, I think it would have be a lot more better to visually see it more than what's going on in the storyline. So the cover's pink and cute. So yay on that. I did read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover before all of the drama that happened. I actually did like this book. I thought it was good. I thought it had a great message at the end. And I think this book actually was good. I did enjoy it. I gave it, I think, 3.5 or 4 stars. I did not watch the movie. I will not watch the movie, which is a shame. But this book, I did like. It is a story about a girl named Lily. She opens up her own shop, and she has a past with someone who she helped growing up, who kind of was like living in a rundown house near her neighborhood. I think it was next door, across the street or something like that. And she would bring him blankets, food, and stuff like that until he finally went away. And his name was Alice. And he went away, I think, to the military. And she never heard from him since. And then she ends up in a relationship with someone that wasn't so good. And she ends up realizing the restaurant that she's with, the person she's with now, is she ends up seeing Alice for the first time after a very long time. And it was a good message, a good love story. I feel like we all could use an Alice in our life. So don't let everything that's going on with the movie affect you reading this book. It's hard, but I still highly recommend this book. I do think it's good. It does send, again, a good message, and this is a really cute love story, I will say. I read 25 Days per Jacobson, And I'm kind of surprised I did, because I'm not really into what's the hair. I'm not really into scary, I would say kind of gory books, and this kind of was that. This is about a family who drives up to a cabin to get away from everything and to kind of reconnect with his wife as well as children. And at first, everything seems great, and then it's not. There is a person who is attacking them, daunting them, hurting them. It's about survival. And I cried. I posted this on my TikTok channel of 25 days. I posted this each day after I read it, what I thought about each chapter. You're supposed to read this like the Advent calendars. And definitely, if you're into like scary, gory books, totally read this. This was a good book. The writer did such a great job with this. And the family with the survival skills and what they went through, and it's just if they even survived. So I highly recommend this book if you're into stuff like that. It was really suspenseful, and yeah, it was really good. I will give this, I think I gave it 4 stars because it was good. Just not my cup of tea with the gore parts of this book. So, but if you're interested, to kind of curious on what it's more about for each chapter, it is spoilers. I will link my TikTok below so you guys can kind of see more about this book. It was good. It was suspenseful for sure. I read some series. I finished up a couple of series this year. That will be a new video. I will be talking about the Shatter Me series, the Broken Heart series, and I also read an old series I had on my shelf for a very long time, the Shadowfall series. So I'll be talking about those separately in a different video. This video is already long enough, but I do want to talk about one last series I started. I don't even know if I would call it a series, but I think it's 3 books. This is the Housemaid series by Freida McFadden. And this is about a maid who helps with a couple's daughter and cleans the house, cooks, and all that stuff. And oh, if you know, you know. This is turning into a movie. It sounds like the end of this year of 2025. And Nina comes off like really mean. And Millie has to put up with her and help with taking care of their daughter. The husband comes and goes. You don't really know much too about him at first. And then you slowly, kind of gradually understand what really is going on behind closed doors. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to do spoilers. But this book at first was not great. Like, I was like, what is so intrigued by this book regarding someone just coming over and Millie having a hard past, trying to find a job and all of that. Okay, I get that. You know, this house with this woman and husband. It really, at first, I just did not understand it. So if it does feel like it's slow at first when you pick this up, keep reading. That's all I'm going to say. I can't spoil it. Just keep reading and you will not like Nina for a while. So please, if you haven't read this, pick it up. If you have read this, let me know what you think. I did really like this. I gave this 4 stars. It was a really good book. I might pick up, I have picked up a couple more of her other like one-off books, but I read The Housemaid. Then I read The Housemaid's Secret. So this is the same thing about Millie and after what happens with the first housemaid. And I can't get too much into it. But if you liked the first Housemaid book, I highly recommend reading this. This was really good as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up I think I have it, the wedding one. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to read it. Some people say read it, some people don't, but this one was really good as well. So I highly recommend this one as well. Again, if you want to read this, go for it. I do highly recommend it. They both are really good. And it is mainly about the couple and Millie. And then this is kind of more focused on Millie. So I read Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. And this book probably was so far one of my favorites this year. New author. I've never read anything of hers, and this book was beautiful. It was phenomenal. The writing was very articulate, very smooth, very easy reading, and it just was a really different, warm book. So I highly recommend this. It's about a girl named Zoe, and she's going off to college where her mom went, and her mom left her this little cottage kind of place that is kind of like a 1-bedroom apartment, but she leaves her this little place in Delawisp, and Zoe goes there, and she starts making friends, trying to, and there's a couple other people that live in this little condo area with birds flying everywhere, which is the Delawisps. And there's a story behind that. You have to read it to find out. And she is trying to reconnect with her mom who passed away. Her dad and kind of like stepmom kind of just moved on. It sounds like she's really just alone, trying to discover herself and her connection with her mom in this little place. And she starts trying to connect with people. Someone does pass away in this little complex, and that's how she starts making friends. She starts introducing herself. She ends up bringing life back to this little place, and there is a love story, multiple ones in here. It talks about the birds. It talks about her little life and kind of a growing person and helping neighbors out. I really do recommend this book. I'm not explaining it as best as I can. I feel like it doesn't do it justice. So if you're really into something cozy or warm and cute and want to read something like that, I highly recommend this book. Sometimes we just need a break from what we've been reading to read something sweet, gentle, and this was that for me. So I recommend this to read, please, and comment below if you have or haven't. I'm kind of curious on what other people thought about this book, if you've read it. That is it for right now. I will be talking about, again, the Shatter Me series. I finished some in 2023 and the rest in 2024, and I will be linking that video. That will be coming up shortly, so please look out for that. The Broken Heart series, that I will be talking about that as well. If you have read the Caraval series, you know about the Broken Heart series. You probably have already read it, but I will be doing a book review on that. And on top of it, series, I don't know if a lot of people have heard of the Shadowfall series, which we'll get into as well. And thank you so much for staying this long of the video. If you have finished watching this video till the end, please comment below. Leave me it's kind of wintry right now, so leave me a winter emoji. Snow, something wintry vibes, or just a smiley emoji. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and until next time, bye.